Glasses had stains on them, by the way. My 3D glasses, like in the corner, they were like it looked either cracked or like there was a peanut butter stain.
Or like something like just like. Yeah, like you weren't able to like see like what was happening in 3D on the left side of the screen.
Yeah,
dude, mine too. I thought there was something wrong with like my eyes and like.
that's like, it feels like your eye is like glossy or something.
Yeah, like you got like a contact lens is out of place or something. Yeah, because like anytime I like turn to the right, I noticed that the left side would go at it like go out of 3D.
Yep.
Okay,
I thought that was just me.
No, I thought that was me too. I was like, all right, maybe I'm just dumb.
Nope. It's just the glasses suck.
Fucking clean your shit, AMC. That's gross, man.
It's probably nacho cheese.
Ew. Just Reese's Pieces all up on your... 3D glasses are disgusting. Did you know that they make 2D glasses? I've seen it. You can buy glasses that will take 3D movies and turn it 2D.
Why not just go see 2D? I guess if you have like a group of friends who love 3D...
I mean, maybe, but it's like at the same point, just don't see 3D. like, okay, so let's just walk through like the commerce of this. You're buying your own glasses to take to a 3D movie,
which you're paying $5 extra
which
for.
Costs
for 3D.
Extra. I mean, it's like maybe if you want to see like just an IMAX movie and you didn't want to see it in 3D, maybe. Because, I mean, It's like, where are you going to see, like, just an IMAX movie now?
Maybe. But I don't think people see IMAX movies that, like, maybe there's, like, one movie a year that's an IMAX movie.
If that, yeah. Like, maybe, yeah. Because I don't even think you can see The Hobbit in just IMAX.
No.
But still, like, these glasses, I mean, you're paying, like, $10 and then shipping and handling. I saw that, I'm like, I wasn't sure if, like, it was a gag gift, and I read the description, and I was like, no. These are 3D... to 2D glasses that you could take with you to 3D movies.
That's ridiculous.
How, like, of accommodating... Like, if you have to buy those, you need to look at the friendships you have. Like, you need
friends are forcing you to watch 3D.
Yeah, you need to stand up to your friends, or they need to be understanding on why 3D movies suck. Most of the time.
Yeah. There are very few exceptions, like...
The Hobbit. The Desolation of Smaug.
Smaug.
Alright, so nonetheless, welcome to the Swiftfilm Show. Today with me is Husain Sumra.
And that's it.
I'm, of course, Donovan Farnham, your host. John Xavier is not here today. Nonetheless, Husain, Desolation of Smaug. What did you think? Not Smog, like all of the AMC commercials had, but Smaug. Smaug. You
have to say it like you have a dragon mouth.
Or you're Norwegian. Smaug is Smaug. Go ahead.
I liked it. It has the same problems as the first one, I think, where it feels kind of padded and.
Oh yeah,
you know,
like
some of the
you could have cut all of Legolas out.
You could have cut Legolas out. You could have cut the prequel Lord of the Rings stuff out and just be the Hobbit, and it would have been fine.
Like the part where they're hunting the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the dragon stuff is good.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm not sure yet.
Like, yeah, okay, so let's talk about the padding, because that seemed really interesting to me, because it was more obvious in this one that there was more padding. Because I watched The Hobbit a couple days ago, again, and, like, yeah, there's padding, like, when they're talking about, like, oh, like, what the dwarves did after... Radagast, and, like, Smaug, after Smaug kicked them out, and, you know, they're looking for a new, like, homeland and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's padding, but, like, it was padding with a purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, this is why Thorin is called Oakenshield and all that. This is just like padding for the sake of padding, man. It was so...
It feels like there's two movies in one. Kind of.
No, it feels like there's like an online extra and a movie.
Like those Walking Dead mini shorts, they're just smacked into the middle of the episode, kind of like that.
Yeah, because like okay, so Orlando Bloom returns as Legolas, and... he could be cut from the entire movie, and you wouldn't miss anything. He was just there to give...
He just killed orcs in cool ways. That's all.
Yeah, it was just Orlando Bloom being Legolas, because...
You remember him from the first one?
Hey, remember how he was in the other one? And, like, he makes a jab at, like, Gimli's dad.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, who's this ugly thing? He's like, that's my son, dick. Alright, nonetheless, so what did you think of the movie, other than the fact that it was padded for the sake of being padded?
I liked most of it. It was fun. The action sequences are really fun. Like the the barrel sequence was fun.
The barrel sequence was
fun. It was
fun.
also very long and
it was
felt like a video
long.
game, but it was fun.
Yeah, I was like, well, this is someone's pitch for a theme park right now, isn't it?
I could see someone making a barrels like Splash Mountain kind of thing.
Universal's already on it, probably. Unless Disney buys it, and then, well, there you go. So... Yeah, no, it was good, but, not Morgan Freeman, the other Freeman. Martin Freeman. Returns as Bilbo, still good. He kind of takes a back seat.
I was disappointed with that.
Yeah, he kind of takes a back seat to Thorin and Gandalf.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't get to shine as much as Bilbo, like he did in the first one. This movie seems less about him and more about Thorin.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting take, because this is, of course, the Hobbit. Not the Dwarf King or the King Under the Mountain.
If Peter Jackson could change the title, I think he would.
I think you would need to for this one, because you don't get a lot of Hobbit in the Hobbit this time. Like,
he's a side character.
Yeah, he's
like Thorin's movie.
Yeah, which is kind of odd, and I kind of disappointed about that, because Martin Freeman carried the first movie, and his interpretation of Bilbo was so likable.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, like Bilbo steps up in this movie and becomes, kind of a member of the crew.
Yeah.
In his own right, but you're right, he does take a backseat to Thorin, and you don't get, like, the funny quips, you don't get kind of, like, the bumbling Bilbo, which made it more likable.
Yeah.
The more watchable, I guess, the first movie.
Like, my favorite sequence is probably when he goes up against Smaug, when he's, like, trying to talk him down. Because you see Bilbo.
Yeah, you see
Martin Freeman doing what he's doing.
I think that was the longest segment we had of Bilbo, and it was maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because every time else, he's like, oh, well, I guess I'll kill a spider. Ha! It's like, ow, it stings. Oh, that's a good name for a sword. And then it's like, you don't see him for another 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
There's very little Hobbit in The Hobbit. Number 2, The Desolation of Smaug.
Yeah.
So I hope...
That's disappointing.
Yeah, because, I mean, again, like, comparing it to, like, the first the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Frodo's not really the main character.
No.
He's the main character.
It's like a fellowship thing.
Yeah, he's the main character for the first movie, but, like, after that, it's, like, Aragorn. It's the story of his rise to power. But The Hobbit's about the Hobbit. Like, it's right there in the title. The Hobbit. So I thought that was an interesting case.
It's neat that you mentioned that it's taking the same shape as Lord of the Rings, where the first one is Bilbo and Frodo, and the second one's Aragorn and Thorin.
Yeah. So, if we're following the same, like, I guess storytelling arc, we'll get more of the Hobbit in The Hobbit 3, was it? There and Back Again?
Yeah, there and back again.
So, yeah.
Man, now I'm sad.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize it while watching, but after you're like, wait, where's my Bilbo friend?
You get 10 minutes of him when he's talking to the dragon.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah. Because most of the time, too, he's invisible.
Yeah.
Maybe he's invisible for the whole time. Like, if the whole, like, the ring, like, as a thematic element, is supposed to be addiction, maybe he's just, like, shooting up in the back of the scene every time.
In the book, I don't think the ring was that evil either. It was just, like, a cool thing. Like, I don't think it corrupted anyone in the book.
No, I got wait until Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and then it started corrupting.
the Fellowship, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess this is a larger problem of when they turned it into a trilogy rather than like, before it was just 2 movies, all The Hobbit directed by Guillermo del Toro, and then Peter Jackson took over and he's like, we're making it a trilogy. Yeah. And they turned it into a prequel series more than a Hobbit series.
Which I'm okay with. Like, Gandalf goes off and fights the Necromancer, which is Sauron. Well, I'm okay with that. And then there's supposed to be, like, the next one is supposed to be, like, a war. Like, There and Back Again is supposed to be, like, big war.
Plus dragons.
Because they may or may not have killed him. Yeah.
You'll find out.
Spoilers. Yeah, so, I don't know. How do you like it compared to the first one, Husain? I
like it less than The Hobbit and Unexpected Journey. I like it less. Because it's darker, too. You were saying, it's darker and it's more serious. It's not as fun.
It is. I think I like it about the same. I think I'm going to have to wait to see the third one before I give, like, an overall judgment of whether or not, like, how much I like them. But right now, I'm less excited.
Yeah, same here.
Because we all three of us decided that we liked it because it was lighter.
Yeah.
That's contrast.
It's different.
And that's a contrast to what the rest of the world likes. Because they like this movie way more than they like the original Hobbit.
Which is insane to me, I think. Or maybe,
If you want a Lord of the Rings movie, this is very much... The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, is very much a Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah, it's
the
like
Hobbit,
that.
Yeah, The Hobbit, the first one, was very much a Hobbit movie. So I don't
agree
know.
with that.
I like them both, but this is very much it's missing the pieces that I liked of the first movie.
Yeah.
Which is basically Bilbo.
I'm wondering if Hobbit, like hardcore Hobbit, the book fans, are going to watch this and go, why?
Well,
just
they said,
like a part of them dies. Just
they said that about the first movie.
That's true.
So probably, absolutely.
So it's just going to be more so, just crying.
Yeah.
And maybe watching the animated one over and over again.
Whatever. All right. We saw it in IMAX 3D and in the higher frame rate. What was it? 36, 48, something like that?
Probably 48. I think it's 48.
Yeah.
With the cinematic edge, according to Peter Jackson. He's like, I made it more cinematic. And I don't know how you do that, but whatever.
I imagine it's slowing it down. Because the thing is with going from 24 frames per second, which is what movies have been shot at since the beginning of time, pretty much, is that you get more motion. You get the entire range of motion. So as opposed to where moving your arm would you would see only segments of it, you see the entire fluid motion.
Yeah.
And that weirds people out because it's like real life.
And we're not used to it because we've been watching 24 forever.
Right. Yeah, so it takes your brain a little bit longer to process fight scenes.
Yeah.
And you don't get to see the entire fight scene. I mean, it doesn't make any sense because you are seeing the entire fight scene, but it's one of those things where more
it's like real life, it's like a blur.
Yeah, it's like more is less and less is more.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite. So I liked it. My TV plays at the higher frame rate, and I love it. Because it's look at all, it's so cool. I can see smaller details in their eyes darting back and forth. But other people complain about it. So what did you think?
At first, the first 30 minutes, I didn't like it. I was like, oh my god, this looks like a terrible BBC drama from the 90s.
It's shot on a handy cam.
Yeah, it's like the first season of the new Doctor Who kind of thing. Yeah. But after 30 minutes, my eyes adjusted, and I was like, oh, this isn't too bad.
Yeah, I thought maybe, you can slow down the fight scenes. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not slow down, on film, slow down the film of the fight scenes, but slow down the action of the fight scenes. Cause that's,
slow-mo kind of thing.
Not slow-mo, but, I don't know, what is that one, I want to say Game of Death?
Game of Thrones?
No, it's the Bruce Lee movie, where he's fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I don't remember.
Nonetheless, they had to slow that fight scene down because you couldn't capture that on 24 frames a second. They were literally moving too fast. I want to say Game of Death. I'm not... Maybe Big Boss. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. But Bruce Lee fans, you know the one I'm talking about. They had to slow it down. So, you could see what was happening because they were just moving too fast for 24 frames a second. So maybe if they did that, so you could see, more of it, the actual action within the fight scene, I think that would have been a little bit... Again... This is a nitpick. I liked it. I like watching movies like that because it looks better. But if you're not used to watching it, maybe you should stick to the regular 24.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I like the 24. Maybe because I'm old fashioned. I don't know. I'm not really old fashioned, but maybe for this I am.
It does take your brain a little bit to adjust. Even again saying I watch my TV at the higher frame rate. Even having that big of a screen now was harder to comprehend. It's I don't understand what's happening.
Maybe it's just me, but it gives you more depth too. I know we're seeing it in 3D, but I think 48 frames gives you more depth because you can see the difference between stationary things and moving things better.
Yeah. You could see strands of hair on Gandalf's beard move.
Yeah, the first scene where they're in that little town, you could see that it was there was depth. There was a lot of depth. You could see. The detail.
The detail is what I thought was really interesting too, because you get more of it. So, I liked it.
So maybe I like it. I don't know. I have weird feelings towards 48 frames per second. I'll see another 48 frames per second, but I don't know if I want to forever. That's my unofficial take.
I think I would want to see it in 2D first before I pass judgment, because you see, when you watch a 3D movie, you're seeing things differently anyways, because you have to scan more because there's depth now, as opposed to it just being presented to you on a flat screen. So I think I would want to see it maybe a 2D 48, and that would be interesting.
The 3D is good, by the way.
The 3D, we talked about that last time.
Peter Jackson knows how to use 3D.
He knows how to use 3D.
And he loves CG bumblebees, apparently.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that he threw shit in my face today.
Just bees.
Just bees, a couple arrows here and there. I'm like, dude, really? Like, we gave you props for that in the first one, that you didn't throw any axes at our face.
I didn't notice the axes. I noticed the bees, because it literally comes up to your face.
Yeah, like
like
an amusement park ride. It's like, hello, folks. It's like, God damn it. Peter Jackson, you asshole. I was a little disappointed with that.
He must have listened to the first our podcast episode for that, and he was like, you know what, guys? I'm going to throw shit at your face now.
I'm kind of disappointed he did, though. I mean, we all liked not having axes and shit being thrown at our face, but this time...
Couldn't help himself.
Within 10 minutes of that happening. Like, well...
Bears in your face. Just everything in your face.
The bear I was fine with, but like the bees...
The
bees, the air, I was like, really? Really?
The bee was the worst.
Because it's very much like a theme park ride, where it's just, I'm fucking
I think that exact...
Tinkerbell.
That exact shot is in the Bugs Life 4D ride at Disney, at California Adventure. The exact shot.
Like with a bee?
Yes.
I totally believe it. So, shame on you, Peter Jackson. Shame on you. Nonetheless, Hobbit, the Desolation of... Thorin, the Desolation of Smaug, as we'll call it. Go see.
Yeah, you're probably invested already.
Yeah.
Go see it. If you're not invested, you haven't seen the first one, maybe wait till the video, just so you can see them back to back or whatever.
HBO will have it.
Yeah.
All right, nonetheless, what did you watch this week, Husain?
I watched a movie that people are praising called Frances Ha.
People have been losing their mind over this movie.
It is. They are rightfully so, because it is awesome. It is really good.
Okay. Walk me through this.
It stars Greta Gerwig, and she co-writes the movie too.
Okay.
She plays a 20-something dancer who is obsessed with her best friend. Her and her best friend are like super best friends, where they do literally everything together.
Super BFFs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like one of these 20-somethings who has a plan for her life.
Okay.
And is firmly stuck to that plan.
Okay.
Like, she and her best friend have this plan together. What happens is her friend starts to, like, lose sight of that plan. Because, we're 20-somethings, right? So, when life... when you have an idea for your life, but something better comes along and you go into that path that you never planned for, but that's your path, kind of thing.
No.
Okay, well, that's what happens in this movie.
I think that is yet to happen to me, so...
When it does...
Okay, I'm going to heed these words that you're going to give me right now. Okay, go ahead.
So, her friend, the path that she planned isn't the path her life is taking, her friend. So she goes on that path. Greta Gerwig, the star, Frances, she has a hard time with that.
Because, we made a plan. Yeah. You're not sticking to the plan.
Yeah, and she has a hard time, and her plan starts breaking in front of her eyes. It's actually a lot like the HBO series Girls.
Okay.
Where that same thing happens, except in this, it's better, because they let her, like, crash badly.
Dang.
Like, she goes, like, her plan totally demolishes her life, and she has
I lied, that did happen to me. I mean, it happened for the better, but, it just wasn't part of the, what I foresaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's for the better in this movie. Like,
okay.
The friend, it's for her good.
Yeah, okay. Like, she got, like, an unexpected job promotion.
Yes. Or, like, someone entered her life she never thought, like, kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it destroys Frances, and her life and her plan demolishes itself, and she has to rebuild and, like, find a new way and find what makes her happy. It's just really good. It's relatable. For any 20-something, there's stuff in there that's relatable. Greta Gerwig gives one of the best performances of the year, too. So much so that I wished that she was the lead star on Girls, which is weird, because Lena Dunham stars, writes, produces, does that whole thing. So that's how good it is that it replaced her.
Wow, okay.
So go see Frances Ha on Netflix.
It's on Netflix right now. So, I saw a movie this weekend, and it's kind of a beautiful irony of its title now. So...
What's it called?
It's called Blast from the Past. Have you seen it?
No.
Because it's beautiful. It's awful. It's so bad. So it stars Brendan Fraser.
Wait a minute. I think I remember the trailer for this movie.
And the girl from Clueless. I forget her name.
Alicia Silverstone, I think?
Yes. So.
Oh my god. I remember the trailer for this. I just never saw it.
Okay, shut up and I'll tell you, because it's great. It's called Blast from the Past. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it recently, you should. It's on, like, I don't know. I saw it on like on demand. It's beautiful. So Brendan Fraser's parents, Adam's parents, are like scientists. His dad's a scientist that makes a bomb shelter in the 50s during the Cold War.
Of course.
And then he freaks out about the Cuban Missile Crisis, and he goes down into his bomb shelter. And then a plane crashes into their house. And he thinks it's an atomic bomb dropped by Castro. So he locks it down for like 30 years. It's like 62. Brendan Fraser grows up in this bomb shelter. And then they come out in like the early 90s. I think this movie came out in like 1992 or something like that. Because I remember watching this when I was a kid. I was like, this is silly. And the dad thinks like the world that they've emerged into, which is 1992, like just modern day 1992, is like fucking Fallout 1992. Where it's just like mutants and radiation, and it's... So he's a blast from the past. But what makes this movie the best fucking thing to watch in 2014, is that it is the 90s distilled into just like this shot glass of what the fuck was going on at the time, man. Like, just, it talks about like the 90s like obsession with swing music and just like cell phones that are massive, just really bad television that was on at the time, like ridiculous like parachute, like the falling out of the parachute pants, and just...
Which Justin Bieber now wears.
It's disappointing. Like leather jackets with turtlenecks. It's so awesome because it's just like the poetic justice that it's called Blast from the Past. And then if you watch it like 20 years after like it was filmed, it's just awesome.
So it's Time Capsule the movie.
Pretty much. It's 90s the movie. It's awesome because, I mean, let's be honest. What two actors are more of the 90s than Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone?
That girl too.
Yeah, dude. It's so good. People are probably rolling their eyes and thinking it's like, no, he can't be serious. Like, this has got to be some like horrific ploy of just getting... No, it's great. It is 90s of the movie, and it's called Blast from the Past, and it's like rollerblades. Rollerblades are in it. They make a big deal about rollerblades. It's like, you remember when rollerblading was big in the 90s? If you don't, watch this movie and you'll remember. It's awesome.
I kind of want a Blast from the Past for each decade now.
Yeah, I feel like every 10 years they need to have a Blast from the Past. Like, what would be a blast from, like, what would be the early 2000s, the movie?
Oh shit, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, okay, what about
Lord of the Rings references?
Maybe Shaun of the Dead?
Maybe, yeah.
Because, like, yeah, it's like that start of, like, that, like, self-deprecating humor.
Yeah. Something about .com stuff.
Yeah. Or it'd have to be the fall of the .com. It'd have to be something with a lot of self-deprecate. What about the 80s? 80s would be like Point Break. No, Point Break was like 90s, wasn't it? I don't know. What would the 80s be?
I think Point Break was late 80s.
I don't want to say Point Break.
There is a movie that defines the early 2000s, but I forgot what it was. It was like a teen comedy, like a She's All That kind of thing.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But I know for the 90s, it is fucking Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone's Blast from the Past. It's amazing. You should go watch it.
I think I will.
It's so good. I was watching. I was like, this is the rollerblading, dude. I forgot about rollerblading being a thing in the 90s until I saw this movie.
I was obsessed with rollerblading for a while. X Games, Brink on Disney Channel. That was my 90s.
Well, guess what? It's in this movie. It's awesome. You need to see it. So, what are we watching next week?
A little of like 12 things, I guess.
What?
There is so much coming out next week.
Yeah, because it's
I have no clue what we're going to see. There's Grudge Match. There's apparently Inside Llewyn Davis is coming out.
I thought that was on limited release, though.
This week it opened limited release.
Okay.
It might open later.
There's
Saving
also
Mr. Banks.
Mr. Banks.
American Hustle. Anchorman 2. Goddamn. There's like 7 things.
Just repeating things
Doom
you say
3.
now.
Which we probably won't see, but it's there, and I'm going to see it because I'm Indian.
Husain's Bollywood Report will be next week as well. All right. Also, Doom 1 and 2. So it's DHOOM.
Yes.
Which Husain has been telling us is like the Fast and the Furious of India.
Yep, it pretty much is.
Fun fact, Doom 1 and 2 are on Netflix. I watched a little bit, I think, of Doom 2. There's a lot of color.
Yeah.
Like, everything's pastel. Not pastel, but everything's like a really fluorescent, like, orange and pink and blue. And I was like, it was late at night, I'm like, I can't watch this. It's giving me a headache. But nonetheless, Doom 1 and 2, if you want to see what what Husain's talking about, because again, I watched maybe 2 minutes of it on Netflix. Yeah.
They're wonderfully silly.
Yeah. And the week after that, I'm making a bid that we see 47 Ronin, because I think we're going to need something stupid fun. And
nice way to close out the year.
Keanu Reeves in a fantasy samurai movie, I think is that movie.
That sounds magical.
Does sound magical.
It sounds like the happy Lord of the Rings.
It sounds like
happy, not dark, fun.
It sounds like they're going to kill a dragon in that one too, and actually kill it. They may or may not kill the dragon and Thorin.
Does he sound like Benedict Cumberbatch?
I hope he does. I think the dragon in
I think he should play every dragon. Forever.
I think the dragon in 47 Ronin is a woman.
Oh yes, she is.
But I mean, I'm fine to have him. I'm fine to have Benedict Cumberbatch play every dragon ever.
I think the dragon from 47 Ronin is Mako Mori from Pacific Rim. I think. I'm not sure, but I think.
I think you're right. Hopefully it's voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch. Surprise. All right. Nonetheless, remember you can follow us on Twitter at Swiftfilm, Facebook.com/Swiftfilm, Swiftfilm.com for the words and some pictures and this podcast. Also, you can follow this podcast, which you're listening to, on SoundCloud and YouTube. All right. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week when we see
one of 12 movies.
One of a million things that are coming out.